Good evening, everyone, and welcome to my Periscope tonight. Apologies for the delay. I am traveling to Virginia for a staff retreat and just happened to, be delayed due to train traffic and people's cars breaking down on the trail. So I am so excited to be with you tonight. And the topic for tonight, thank you, Literally Great. I love you, and thank you for inviting. Thank you, everyone, for the hearts. If you are new to my Periscope, I invite you to invite your friends and also to let me know what your name is and where you're from so we can get to know each other. The purpose of my Periscope is to create a sense of community so that everyone can really just feel supported, feel connected, and really build a sense of trust in our circle. Thank you, Miracles Within Us, for sharing on Twitter. So tonight's topic is so juicy. It's one of those topics that a lot of people want to talk about, want to explore, but don't really know how. So I welcome as many questions on this topic as possible. I think it'll make it way more exciting to have you all share some questions that you might have around this topic. So just to get started, welcome Jose Swazu BR. Welcome everyone. Thank you everyone for the hearts. I love you all as well. So if you are new, please let us know that you're new so I can say a special shout out to you. And if you are joining as a lifer, thank you for your devotion to my Periscopes and always tuning in. I'm Jose from Brazil. Welcome, Brazil in the house. So the topic for tonight is really going to be open relationships, and what I want to share about that is, first off, you have to be very clear that that's what you want. And sometimes, the idea of an open relationship sounds a lot more enticing and exciting than what it might feel like once you're in it, or really, you might not think about everything that it takes to make an open relationship work. So, I have lots of clients and friends who are in open relationships. And what I wanted to share tonight is how important trust and communication are to open relationships. Those are really, for me, the two foundations for an open relationship. If there is no trust and there is no communication, it's very difficult to make it work, right? And anyone in the relationship has to really be open to being honest, right? Being honest about how they're feeling, what's coming up for them. Jealousy can happen when you're in an open relationship. Feelings might change. And open relationships specifically, I think you really have to be instant with feedback, right? You can't wait a month after you feel a certain type of way to kind of let your partner know, because that just builds up and can really cause some relationship breakdowns. So, really going into the trust, right? And how do you build that trust? And communication is the first way to do that, right? Openly communicating your desires, your fantasies, what are your needs, right? If you aren't following Finding Freedom, follow Finding Freedom. She is talking all about needs, and last night she had a Periscope where she talked about needs, and I can't help but think back to her scope. Everything we do to meet a need. Everything. And if we're not meeting a need, we're dead. So literally, we're always, everything is motivated by meeting a need. So really being clear with yourself and also with your partners what need is being met in your interactions, what is truly the end goal of being in an open relationship. So welcome, Zoraida. Thank you for joining again. Love you all so much. So that's really what I wanted to focus in on for this scope, is making sure that we are all aware of, you know, what does it take to really make an open relationship work. And, you know, open relationships can take so many different forms. There's no one formula for an open relationship. You can really come up with your own terms and agreements, and I totally, if it's something that you're exploring, I recommend that you do have some form of an agreement, preferably in written. How do you start the conversation? I think you start the conversation, you know, I just talked a little bit about needs, and really being honest with your partner or partners about what are your needs, you know, how is the relationship currently fulfilling those needs, and where's the gap? Where is the need that isn't being met, right? And if you start with that, right, and it's not about your partner, right? I think that's one of the biggest challenges, is often when bringing this conversation up, it's like, well, you want an open relationship because you're not in love with me anymore, or you don't find me attractive, or the sex isn't great, and our partners might automatically fall into trying to figure out what's wrong with them, and I think that's where we all have to really put in that effort to express to them that that's not necessarily what's happening, and really go back to the needs and what is the need that would be met by having an open relationship. So any other questions? I love the questions coming in. Thank you all for the hearts. I love you all for all the love you share. I really appreciate the hearts, because I feel like it's an exchange of energy. It's definitely your way of telling me that you're with me, you're hearing me, you're in support of it. So I truly appreciate the hearts. We'll continue bringing you more information as the weeks go on. So I think if anyone has any questions about this topic, I'd love to go in deeper, but I also don't want to overwhelm you with too much information about open relationships. But going back to summarizing, so really be authentic about what your needs are, how is your relationship meeting them or not meeting them, and begin with open communication and trust. And really, the trust begins with honesty, right? You have to be honest about what's working, what's not working, and own your own feelings, right? Like, don't put it on your partner. Really just own that these are your needs, and that it's not necessarily up to that person to meet them, and that, you know, the way that you're trying to meet your needs at the moment might be an open relationship. So I will leave you all with that to think about, to explore in your own relationships, in your own lives. And until tomorrow, I hope you have a very passionate night. Love you all.